Jaxon.
And I'm Dylan.
And this is Wacky News.
Welcome to Wacky News. My name is Dylan. This is a podcast for kids, about kids, and presented to you by kids. My brother Jaxon and I will share neat stories every week for you to discuss with your friends on the school bus, during lunch, or whenever you want.
Hey guys, it's me, Jaxon. I hope you had a great weekend and are ready for another episode of Wacky News.
Yeah, episode 9 is going to be our best one yet, so we're glad you're listening.
Wait, Dylan, don't we say that about every episode?
I know. It's amazing that this show keeps on getting better and better, and there is so much cool news happening that kids should hear about.
You know what podcast is also getting better and better? Toothy Trivia. No more rushing or brushing.
That's right. I was totally thinking about that. Toothy Trivia launched last week, and it is the first podcast in history to air twice a day, every single day of the week. The goal of the show is to give kids 2 minutes of fun facts and trivia to listen to while they brush their teeth. By the time the trivia is done, so is your brushing.
We've been using it every day to brush our teeth. It really works. The brushing seems like it goes by so much faster now.
And we know a bunch of cool facts, like when Play-Doh was invented. It wasn't meant to be a fun thing for kids. It was actually supposed to be used as a wallpaper remover.
So guys, if you haven't subscribed to Toothy Trivia yet, make sure you do. Go to podcastplayground.com and do it now. Let's move on to our news stories. Dylan, why don't you start us off with our first story by telling everybody what we got to do last week?
Sure thing, Jaxon. Wacky News was invited to take part in a press conference at the Maryland State House where Governor Hogan was honoring Nyle DiMarco for his efforts on behalf of deaf and hard of hearing children.
Nyle has been deaf since birth. You might recognize him as the most recent winner of Dancing with the Stars and America's Next Top Model.
Growing up in a family of more than 25 deaf people, Nyle had early access to American Sign Language, also called ASL, in English, which is very important. Research shows that being bilingual, that means being fluent in both English and ASL, makes it easier to use language, helps with understanding the meaning of words being used, and it improves how kids do in school.
Unfortunately, though, many deaf and hard of hearing kids do not have access to ASL.
That's right. About 7 out of 1,000 kids have permanent hearing loss by the time they are school age, yet only 25% of them have parents who use sign language to communicate with them. Unlike Nyle, 96% of deaf children are born to parents who are not deaf and do not know sign language. A lot of these parents go to doctors and ask for help, but instead of suggesting ASL, the doctors tell the parents to get their children cochlear implants.
So what are these cochlear implants?
They are small devices that are attached inside someone's ear using surgery and help them hear sound. Many of the doctors make the parents of deaf children feel as though they can only choose from one other, sign language or cochlear implants. And a lot of parents who are not deaf end up choosing the implants so that their child can be raised in a speaking-only environment. However, in most of the cases, the implants do not end up working well enough to be a long-term solution.
And this is bad, because between birth and 5 years of age is a time when a kid's brain is designed to become fluent with a language that they are around and can experience on a regular basis.
Exactly. And if the cochlear implants are not working as successfully as they are supposed to, and the child is not also learning sign language, then they are trapped in a world with no language or easy way to communicate. This can have negative effects that follow the kids throughout their entire life.
So Nyle DiMarco, who had planned to someday be a teacher, found himself becoming a celebrity. He realized he could use his fame to teach more than just one classroom. He could educate the world about the importance of teaching American Sign Language and English to young children.
That's why he started the Nyle DiMarco Foundation.
Yay!
And he has been doing a fantastic job spreading his message. And that's why Governor Larry Hogan of Maryland awarded him a governor's citation. Maryland is one of 32 states that has an office geared specifically towards the needs of deaf and hard of hearing citizens within the state.
Plus, on September 12th, Governor Hogan announced a new program for deaf and hard of hearing Marylanders who do not have enough money to buy certain technology. If they apply and are accepted, they will receive a free tablet, which will come loaded with video chat or captioned phone software.
Upon accepting the citation, Nyle said, "I am honored to receive this recognition and pleased that Governor Hogan is committed to Maryland's deaf and hard of hearing children. Early language acquisition gave me the cognitive, critical thinking, literacy, and social skills that helped me succeed as a model, actor, and advocate. I want every deaf person to have the same access so that they can succeed just as I did."
What a great story. I'm so glad there are people like Nyle DiMarco in the world. For more info on Nyle DiMarco and the foundation, check the show notes for Wacky News at podcastplayground.com.
Uh-oh, Jackson, I think the Wacky News machine is getting a little impatient that we haven't asked it for a news story yet.
Uh-oh. Sorry about that, Wacky News machine. We still know you're the one to go to for kid-focused stories all around the world. So what do you have for us today?
Message in a bottle. Jackson, remember a time our cousin found a time capsule in her backyard that had been buried all the way back in the early 1990s?
Yeah, that thing was ancient.
Well, a retired postal worker named Marianne Winkler discovered a message in a bottle that's even more ancient.
Is it older than Mom?
Yes!
You know I'm right here recording you.
The message in the bottle that she found had been at sea for 108 years, 4 months, and 18 days before it washed ashore in Germany off the coast of North Sea. Miss Winkler and her husband could see words on the paper inside, instructing them to break the bottle. Upon breaking the bottle, they pulled out a postcard with writing in English, German, and Dutch. The message asked them to fill out the date and where the bottle was found, and then send it back to the Marine Biological Association in Plymouth, England.
The bottle started its journey from England?
Yup, it was one of 1,000 bottles cast to the North Sea in November of 1906 by a marine biologist named George Parker Bitter.
A marine biologist is someone who studies sea creatures and organisms.
The Marine Biological Association was founded in 1884 and still exists to this day and is a very well-known association. George Parker Bitter has served as its president from 1939 to 1945. The purpose of sending all of the bottles out was to study the currents of the North Sea. To make sure he would get them back and find out where they had ended up, Mr. Bitter promised whomever found and returned each bottle a shilling.
A shilling was the type of coin that used to be used in England and now would be worth 8 cents.
The experiment was a success and Mr. Bitter received enough bottles back to determine that the deep sea's current flowed from east to west. Fast forward 108 years, and the Winklers followed the instructions and mailed back the postcard.
That must have been so surprising for the people who are working at the association now.
It was. And not only they were thrilled that someone had discovered one of the bottles, but the association was also determined to give Miss Winkler the reward promised in the message, a shilling. Even though shillings are no longer used, the organization found one on eBay and bought it just to give to Miss Winkler. And on top of that, she now has the Guinness World Record for the oldest found message in a bottle.
Man, instead of looking for seashells on the beach now, I'm totally gonna be looking for messages in a bottle.
Oh sure, just like when you thought you were going to find gold with your metal detector.
Just for that, I'm not gonna share any of my shillings with you. I will share one last news story for today. What do you have for us, Wacky News Machine?
Sit with us. When we moved and started going to a new school last year, I was really worried about whether or not I would make new friends.
Yeah, going someplace where you don't know anybody can really be intimidating.
And going to school can be really terrible for kids who are bullied or don't have anyone to eat lunch with. Just ask 16-year-old Natalie Hampton of California. Natalie is now a junior in high school and is doing really well, but when she was in the 7th grade and attending a different school, she was bullied a lot and had to eat lunch alone every single day. She will never forget what she went through, and she knows that too many other kids in the world have similar experiences.
According to the StopBullying.gov, one study found 49% of kids in grades 4 through 12 reported being bullied at least once the month before, and 70% of kids reported seeing someone else get bullied.
It's a pretty big problem, even though lots of schools are trying to call attention to it. And Natalie came up with a great idea to help others based on her experience. She created an app that just launched called Sit With Us. Sit With Us is designed to help students who are having trouble finding friends to sit with at lunch. After logging onto the app, students either look for friends or offer to be friends. Ambassadors are the students who invite others to join them and post about open lunch events, which promise to include anyone who is looking for company.
So cool. And what's great? The app is on your phone, so you can keep it private, and you don't have to tell the whole world you are looking for someone to eat lunch with.
That's right, and any student who goes to sit at an open lunch event knows that they won't be turned away.
I like that it is giving students a chance to do the right thing and help someone out.
Me too, and that's something StopBullying.gov encourages students to do. Step up to help others. If you see bullying, talk to a parent, teacher, or another adult you trust. Adults need to know when bad things happen so they can help.
And be nice to the kid being bullied. Show them that you care by trying to include them. Sitting with a kid at lunch or on the bus, or just talking to them at school can make a huge impact.
If you see bullying going on, don't ignore it. Not saying anything could actually make things worse. The kid who is bullying will think it is okay to keep treating others that way. The more kids there are that don't put up with bullying, the less bullying will happen.
So definitely check out the Sit With Us app and also go to StopBullying.gov to learn more about bullying and what you can do to make a difference.
And now it's time for Wacky Jokes!
What do you call a cheese that's not yours? Nacho cheese.
What do elves learn in school? The alphabet.
Why did the girl spread peanut butter on the highway? To go with the traffic jam.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Cows go.
Cows go who?
No, silly. Cows go moo.
What do you call a bear with no teeth? A gummy bear.
What do you call a cow with no legs? Ground beef.
All right, everyone, that's it for episode 9 of Wacky News. Thank you so much for listening.
As always, be sure to go to podcastplayground.com and click on Wacky News for more information about me and Jaxon, as well as pictures and videos, wacky words, and more.
And while you're on podcastplayground.com, don't forget to subscribe to Toothy Trivia. No more rushing or brushing. Every day there will be a morning episode and an evening episode that you can listen to while you brush your teeth.
With the 2 minutes of fun facts and trivia that Emma will be sharing, there will be no more rushing or brushing. See you next week. Bye!